We're in luck. Sir Arthur Neville, member of the House of Lords, has agreed to lead us on a tour of the British Parliament. So you want to learn about our British Parliament, do you? Sir Arthur asks with a sniff. Well, come along then. What's that? You don't even know what a parliament is? How shocking. Parliament is the British legislative body. It is made up of three elements: the monarch, the House of Lords, and the House of Commons. The monarch's role, however, is mostly symbolic. While the Queen or King is the official head of state and all laws are passed in his or her name, the monarch has no active role in the Parliament aside from presiding at its opening ceremonies each year. The British Parliament, however, performs four primary duties. It passes laws, it authorizes taxes and government budgets, it scrutinizes and investigates government administration, and it debates current issues. Does that help a bit? Sir Arthur asks. Good, then let's begin the tour. Sir Arthur leads us into the chamber of the House of Commons. We begin our tour here, he says. This isn't my house, of course, so you'll still have that to look forward to. The House of Commons, Parliament's lower house, is made up of about 650 elected members of Parliament, MPs. One for each region of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The MPs are elected by the popular vote of citizens age 18 and over. The Prime Minister is actually a member of the House of Commons too. The House of Commons was established in the second half of the 13th century when representatives from towns and counties began showing up at Parliament with their grievances. They ended up forming their own house. The House of Commons used to be quite subordinate to the House of Lords, Sir Arthur explains with a touch of annoyance, but today it is actually more powerful. The House of Commons can actually override vetoes from the House of Lords. The horror of it. Sir Arthur shudders dramatically, and then he remembers himself. Well, anyway, he continues, you should know something about the three primary duties of the House of Commons. The House of Commons spends about half its time making laws. Bills are introduced by the administration or by individual MPs. Then each bill receives 3 readings. The first reading is formal and introduces the bill to the MPs. After the bill is read a second time, the MPs debate it before sending it off to committee for more specialized debate and possible amendments. When the bill returns to the House, it is read a third time, and then the MPs vote. If the bill passes, it moves on to the House of Lords. The House of Commons also controls the government's finances. Every year the House receives a proposed budget from the Chancellor of the Exchequer. The MPs examine and debate the budget and create a finance bill that follows the usual path into law. The House of Commons must also approve all spending for government departments, which provide the MPs with estimates. The House of Commons keeps a close eye on government administration. Its select committees, or committees of inquiry, check up on various government departments to make sure they are doing their jobs properly and efficiently. Further, every week the MPs welcome government ministers to the House for question time, during which the ministers answer questions about the current functions and performance of their departments. The House of Commons meets in its chamber at Westminster, Sir Arthur concludes, which, strangely, has only 427 seats. Only rarely are all MPs present on any given day of their sessions, which begin in November and can last for about a year. Sir Arthur now leads us into the chamber of the House of Lords, and proudly points out his own seat. The House of Lords, he explains, is the upper house of Parliament. The Lords, as the members are called, number over 700. Some of the Lords are bishops, including the archbishops of York and Canterbury. Others are members of the nobility or hereditary peers to have inherited their seats and hold them for life. Still others, the majority today, have been appointed as Lords by the monarch on the recommendation of the Prime Minister because they are experts in their field. They too hold their seats for life and are called peers. I inherited my seat from my father, Sir Arthur tells us, and our ancestors have been lords for centuries. We lords perform 3 primary duties. The House of Lords participates in the lawmaking process. It reviews laws passed by the House of Commons and proposes amendments as it sees fit. If the Lords do not approve of a law, they can delay its passage for up to a year. The Lords can also propose and pass their own bills, which then move on to the House of Commons for approval. The House of Lords scrutinizes government administration. Like the House of Commons, the House of Lords welcomes government ministers to question time each week. The Lords also hold lively debates about current issues, which sometimes include government performance. These debates usually do not end in a vote, but they do increase the Lords' knowledge of current events and allow them to employ their expertise. The House of Lords independently investigates matters of public interest. Applying their knowledge and experience, the Lords create reports for debate about a wide variety of topics, including, but not limited to, European affairs, the economy, science, and the Constitution. As Sir Arthur leads us out of the chamber of the House of Lords, he says, let's take a moment to review. Parliament is the British legislative body. It is made up of three elements: the monarch, the House of Lords, and the House of Commons. The monarch's role is mostly symbolic. Parliament performs four primary duties: passing laws, authorizing taxes and government budgets, scrutinizing and investigating government administration, and debating current issues. The House of Commons, Parliament's lower house, is made up of about 650 elected members of Parliament, MPs. It makes laws, controls the government's finances, and keeps a close eye on government administration. The House of Lords, Parliament's upper house, consists of over 700 lords. Some are bishops, and others are hereditary peers or peers appointed by the monarch. The House of Lords participates in the lawmaking process, scrutinizes government administration, and independently investigates matters of public interest. I certainly hope this tour has taught you something about our British Parliament, Sir Arthur remarks as he turns and walks away.